In the headlines, security forces failed to act despite intelligence on planned attack on Abuja-Kaduna train. Teenager arrested for removing eyeball of school pupil. 20 villagers fleeing from bandits drowned in Niger River. And Putin calls for complete surrender of Mariupol for shelling to stop. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Zainab Bala. Hello and welcome again. The Monday night attack on a Kaduna-bound passenger train arriving from Abuja came after repeated warnings by the intelligence service about the movement of bandits with a mission to attack the train service and other facilities, Daily Trust reported. The attack on the train, which had on board over 300 passengers, was the most fatal attack on the train, coming after 3 previous attempts on the service. At least 9 corpses were recovered from the scene of the attack on Tuesday, while over 20 others sustained injuries from gunshots and stampede. Many passengers were also abducted by the kidnappers. Senior security officials told Daily Trust on Wednesday about the existence of many intelligence reports warning of a planned operation by the criminal groups, with one senior official describing the incident as totally avoidable. Daily Trust also gathered that the Kaduna State Security Council and the leadership of the 1 Division Nigerian Army headquarters had also separately requested the Nigeria Railway Corporation to suspend the late-hour shuttle between the 2 cities. Managing Director of the NRC, Engineer Fidet Okiria, confirmed that the NRC was written to stop the evening train. A senior security source in Kaduna confirmed to Daily Trust receiving reports of movement of Turji's men to Kaduna, saying, however, that the intelligence was not authenticated. A Kaduna security source who did not want his name revealed says the attack was carried out by Boko Haram elements in collaboration with bandits. Still ahead, Joint Intelligence Service claims it has uncovered forest settlements serving as hideouts for armed bandits and kidnappers attacking travelers along Abuja-Kaduna highway. This is coming as the Nigeria Air Force airstrikes killed scores of bandits on Wednesday after obtaining intelligence on their movement in that axis. PR Nigeria reports that NAF aircraft launched an attack on the bandits moving along Akilibu Sarkim Power Road near Mongoro village, while those fleeing were eliminated. A domestic intelligence operative told the online medium that 34 dead bodies were recovered of the bandits were so far counted during a mopping up operation. The report said intelligence agency after the attack on an Abuja-Kaduna train identified 3 locations as destinations of bandits after most attacks within the axis. Victims of bandits' attack on Abuja-Kaduna train continue to share their harrowing experience of audacious ambush on passengers. At least 26 passengers sustained injuries. 8 dead bodies have been recovered. FATIMA ALADDIN visits St. Gerard Hospital, where victims are responding to treatment.
The attack on Abuja-Kaduna train on Monday night will remain on the minds of many for a very long time. Fatima is one of the victims of the attack, and the trauma she went through cannot be forgotten easily.
Muna tafiya kawai like 20 minutes to arrive to Kaduna.
We were on the train 20 minutes to arrive in Kaduna. The train started shaking and it drilled from the track and stopped. There was sporadic gunshots from all angles, and the security men in the train asked us to lie. So after we laid down, the gunshot persisted. I was in the VIP when the bandits broke the door and we were on our knees with our hands up. They took away some people. There were many very young boys within the ranges of 18, 20 to 22 years. They spoke strange languages. I speak Fulfulde and Hausa, but they spoke very strange languages. Their mode of dressing was unlike Nigerians. The first time we were rushed to the hospital, we got treatment and nobody asked us to pay anything. We got emergency treatment when we came around 1 to 2 a.m. in the morning. We were asked to pay hospital bill. When Deputy Governor came around 7 a.m., she directed that all injured victims should undergo free x-ray, but after she left, we had to pay 5,000 each for the x-ray.
Not many of the victims are fortunate to survive with injury like Fatima. She is discharged to go home, but scars are still in hospital. Whereabouts of several others is still not known, leaving their loved ones in agony and uncertainty. Fatima ALADDIN, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
The Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, has asked Nigerians to contribute to the cost of treating those affected in Monday's train attack. At least 9 people were killed, while many sustained injuries when bandits attacked a train heading for Kaduna from Abuja. Speaking when he visited the victims who are being treated at the 44 Nigerian Army Reference Hospital in Kaduna on Wednesday, Amechi said the Army treated them without charging a dime. However, he said some of the patients need drugs that are not manufactured in the country, asking Nigerians to assist in raising the cash. Shutting down of Abuja-Kaduna train service following Monday's bandits attack has left commuters with no option than to go by roads. Trust TV visited Jabi Motor Park to speak with passengers on this development.
Nobody seems to be happy about the situation because I think they had it coming for a long time. We've been hearing of the tracks being vandalized in one way or the other, but for it to be getting to this extent of having a bomb being detonated on the train, it's really a heartbreak for the nation at large. The train seems to be the better options when it was really working fine, but for now, I think the buses feel safer for me to take than going for the train now. We in this part of the world, we are very religious people, so we're always hoping on God to just take us to our destinations in peace. You can't really depend on the security on the road now because they are doing their best, but it seems as if water pass Gary. So that's just the situation of things now. So we're just praying. Everybody leaving their homes now, it's like you going down on your knees and praying, God, just take me to my destination. You really can't put your hopes or your going to the journey being safe on the security as it is right now. So it's just on God.
I heard about the incident, but I have no option other than to go back to my state because I can't find any place where to live in Abuja before the incidences or the situation can be calm. So I find myself in a very difficult situation that today in Nigeria, the express is not safe, the rail is not safe, and the air too is not safe. So one has no option and we have to travel. The train is safer. It's safer. Anything can happen in the express and a lot of uncertainties as well. But the train, I think, is safer. That's the alternative I have been using for quite long. So now I have no option other than to use the car.
One of my Oga lost his daughter in the tragic event. That's why I'm going to Kaduna now to condole with the family. Yes, he's my Oga. And his daughter is involved. She died. The corpse was discovered at the 44 hospital yesterday. So they buried her, so I'm going to condole the family now. Everybody knows what is happening. We don't need to deceive ourselves. We all know what is happening. And there are authorities in charge that are supposed to do something, not we ordinary people.
A 17-year-old Issa Hassan, popularly known as Shahide, has been arrested for removing one eye of a 12-year-old Mustafa Yunus of Nzinke area of Tarauni local government area of Kano State. Shahide removed Mustafa's eye on the order of a traditional herbalist, a 107-year-old woman, to do a disappearing charm on his behalf. Speaking, the father of the boy, Lahiru Ahmed, said he took him to his best friend, Malam Arma, for schooling in Nzinke area. Shahide confessed to having committed the crime. Reacting to the development, the police command in Kano, through its spokesman, SP Abdullahi Haruna Kiyawa, said the police would investigate the case and charge them accordingly. No fewer than 20 people, including women and children, have reportedly drowned in Guni Zumba River on Wednesday morning as they were fleeing from bandits' attack on Guni and Kugbaku communities in Munya local government area of Niger State. Daily Trust reports say sources said the victims were crossing the river to Zumba and Gwada IDP camps in the boat. One of the sources, Michael Madaki, told our reporter that 13 bodies have been recovered and buried. The Niger State Police Command's Public Relations Officer, DSP Wasiu Abiodun, had not responded to calls and a message sent to him by a correspondent as of the time of filing this report. Now, Osun State High Court sitting in Osogbo on Wednesday dismissed a no-case submission filed by all the accused persons in the murder of Obafemi Awolowo University student Timothy Adegoke. The court said the owner of Hilton Honor Hotel Ile-Ife, Abdurrahman Adedoyin, and 7 other accused in the matter have case to answer over the death of Adegoke, who lodged in that hotel. Prosecution counsel Emo Amosun had prayed that the court has no case submission by all the defendants be dismissed, as prima facie case has been established based on evidences presented before the court. Osun State Chief Judge Justice Adekwele Ojo in her ruling dismissed the no case submission for lacking merit. The judge said, with exhibits presented by witnesses and admitted as evidence by the court, the prosecution has established that Timothy Adegoke lodged at that hotel, Ile-Ife, and that his body was interfered with and disrespectfully evacuated. The judge then ordered that they enter their defense. Now, responding to the ruling, defense counsel Kende Eleja told the court that they were not ready to immediately file their defense. He then prayed the court that the defense counsels would require time to prepare their defense. Justice Ojo adjourned the case till to the 25th of April for the hearing. 2 presidential aspirants of People Democratic Party (PDP) are divided over which zone should produce the party's presidential ticket flag bearer. While Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal wants the ticket zone to the north, former Senate President Pius Ayim recommends south to clinch the ticket. The 2 aspirants were in Lafia and Nasarawa states to seek support for their presidential ambitions. Abubakar Abdullahi sent in this report.
As part of the build-up to 2023 presidential election, the 2 PDP presidential aspirants were in Lafia, the Nasarawa state capital, where they met with the leadership and delegates of the party. Speaking to journalists shortly after addressing the party faithfuls, Sokoto State Governor and presidential aspirant of the party, Aminu Tambuwal, said for the 6th times the party is contesting presidential election in the country. The North contested only twice, and in the 16 years rules of the PDP, the North occupied the seat for less than 3 years, hence the need for the party to field the northern candidates during the 2023 presidential election.
If you talk about zoning and you insist on zoning, the presidency of Nigeria in PDP should be zoned to the north. And you don't need to go far to understand why. Of the 6 presidential candidates that PDP fielded, 4 were from the south 4 times, and the north had it only twice. And PDP normally zoned for 8 years. When President Obasanjo was given the mandate, the zoning remained, and he had a clinched second term. When Goodluck blessed memory, passed on, Goodluck Jonathan took over, he recontested in 2015 after having contested in 2011. So he had 2 mandates of the party. Now, the last zoning, which was done in 2017, was what produced Atiku Abubakar as candidate of the PDP. So there's still a second chance for a northern candidate on the platform of PDP. And when you look at the years spent by PDP in the presidency, out of the 16 years of PDP, 14 were presidency in the south. 8 by President Olusegun Obasanjo, 6 by President Goodluck Jonathan. Malam Umaru Yar'Adua had only 2 years and some months as president of northern extraction. So even if you go by this, and out of the 24 years by the time President Muhammadu Buhari would have finished serving his term as president of Nigeria, the South would have done 14 years out of 24 years, and the North would have done only 10 years. So if you talk about zoning, if you talk about fairness, if you talk about equity, all of these parameters are in favor of a northern presidency. I am concerned about PDP winning election. And in 2015, barely 5 years after President Erdogan died, from Katsina State, APC, out of strategic thinking, went back to Katsina State and nominated President Muhammadu Buhari out of strategic thinking for them to win the election. So for PDP, it should be about winning the election. When we win the election, as it's done, we now sit down and do the balancing and share the power.
The former Senate President, Pius Anyim, on his part, while addressing members of the party, said every region has what it takes to rule the country, and the formula for PDP to return to power is for the party to do justice to all members.
The rotation is not only peculiar to Nigeria. Rotation or zoning is a factor, is a fundamental feature of multi-ethnic society. In every multi-ethnic group, everybody must go at the same time so that there is peace. The reason is now, at every time, everybody must be on the table so that everybody is carried along, everybody has a sense of belonging. We could not more start a patriotism to move this country forward today because of inequity, injustice, and unfair treatment at all times. Any country that has no principle that keeps it together is bound to have a storm at every point.
The two aspirants promised to support whoever emerges as the flag bearer of the party and call on members, especially those who have no voter card, to take the advantage of ongoing continuous voters registration to obtain their card in order to enable them to cast their vote in 2023 general election. Abubakar Abdullahi, Trust TV News, Lafia.
You're watching Trust TV News Updates. Coming up, a 35-year mechanical engineer in Katsina State makes a breakthrough in farming. Details of this story and more after the break. Do stay. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Trust TV News Update. Here are our top stories. The Monday night attack on a Kaduna-bound passenger train arriving from Abuja came after repeated warnings by the intelligence service about the movement of bandits with a mission to attack the train service and other facilities. A 17-year-old Issa Hassan, popularly known as Shahide, has been arrested for removing one eye of a 12-year-old Mustafa Yunusu of Lensinke area of Taroni local government area of Kano State. The Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 has said the use of face masks in public places is now optional, while the decision on the final relaxation of measures will be taken after Easter. The head of the Technical Secretariat, who also doubles as the Secretary of the PSC on COVID-19, Dr. Mukhtar Mohammed, disclosed this in an interview with The Punch in Abuja. Countries across the world have started relaxing COVID-19 measures. Recently, Ghana, a West African country, announced that the use of face masks was no longer mandatory. Nigeria has continued to witness a drop in the number of daily COVID-19 cases. The PSC also announced that it would stop demanding proof of PCR tests from fully vaccinated travelers. Meanwhile, data from the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency has revealed that a total of over 12,000 persons have been fully vaccinated in Nigeria, while over 18 million persons have been partially vaccinated. The National Primary Healthcare Development Agency announced that Moderna, AstraZeneca, Pfizer and the Johnson & Johnson brands of COVID-19 vaccines were available for individuals willing to be vaccinated. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency on Wednesday said it launched a string of operations against drug cartels across Nigeria which led to the arrest of a fleeing drug kingpin heading a syndicate operating at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Ikeja, Lagos, and 6 other members of his gang. The agency noted that a professional methamphetamine cook and a lawyer were also arrested in Owerri, Imo State, and Ado Ekiti in Ekiti State, respectively. The Drug Enforcement Agency, in a statement by its head of media and publicity, Femi Babafemi, said the operations led to the seizure of drugs and cash from the culprits. The NDLEA noted that the psychotropic substance, which was imported into the country from Pakistan, was smuggled through the airport tarmac and intercepted at the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria personnel yard. 2 suspects, Ofije Moa, a Sako driver, and Nyamgazu Alex, a security guard with the Nigerian Aviation Handling Company, were initially arrested in connection with the seizure. Further investigations by NDLEA operatives, however, led to the arrest of 5 other persons involved in the crime, including the ringleader Yunana Fidelis, who fled Lagos to Kaduna the moment their lead was blown up. Others include Adesonya Temitokwe, Owosheni Temidayo, Fasorati Shola, and Bamibade Jonathan. A 35-year-old graduate of mechanical engineering in Katsina State, Abdullahi Baturi, has made a breakthrough in farming. Baturi produces Irish potatoes in Kaita local government area, considered as semi-arid zone where Irish potatoes cannot grow. Kaita is located few kilometers to Niger Republic, but endowed with fertile land with potential to grow a variety of farm produce. Abdullahi Yamdi visited his farm and now reports.
The mechanical engineer who said he started cultivating Irish potatoes here 2 years ago described it as a profitable venture considering the soil fertility of the area, which requires the application of only manure to get the best yield.
Basically, it's like now, it's like I have already harvested 1/3 of the planted Irish potato that on the ground. So I'm now expecting like about 15 tons on the ground, inshallah. Okay.
This solar-powered borehole is being used by Abdullahi Baturi to provide enough water for the irrigation activities, which enables him to produce other farm produce such as cabbage, pepper, onions, and tomatoes, among others. In 2022 alone, the young farmer produced over 800 bags of 50 kg Irish potatoes here, which he said happens to be one of the best in terms of size and quality. Abdullahi Bature, who apparently looks more happier with the value chain than the yield, told Trust Television that he employs over 10 people to work on the farm on daily basis, which he engages about 25 people on special occasions. This beside his customers in Sokoto, Kaduna, Kano, and the Federal Capital Territory. He, however, speaks on some of the constraints involved in irrigation farming and Irish potatoes production.
The only challenge, let the government come in to see the possibility of creating employment toward this production of Irish potato, because we have the market, and I know that inshallah, if we can coordinate, we can produce more than our expectation.
In spite of all these challenges, experts say the most amazing thing is that one can bring anything from anywhere and grow it anywhere in the northern part of the country. Abdullahi Ismail, Trust Television News, Katsina.
And in business, Brent crude, against which Nigeria's oil is priced, moved up in price to $114 per barrel on Wednesday, rising by $3.73 when compared to the previous day's cost. Its rise in price followed the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine, as the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries raised the alarm that the crisis was also costing the energy market more than 7 million barrels of crude oil daily. The Secretary General OPEC, Sanusi Barkindo, disclosed this at the 61st meeting of the Joint Technical Committee of the organization via video conference. But Kindo told the meeting that the leading international organizations and institutions came together in the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic to endorse efforts to stabilize the energy markets. And on the foreign scene, Russian President Vladimir Putin has said that shelling of the besieged Ukrainian city of Mariupol would only end when Ukrainian troops surrender. Putin made the comments during an hour-long phone call with the French President Emmanuel Macron on Tuesday night, the Kremlin said in a statement. But French officials said the Russian leader had agreed to consider plans to evacuate civilians from the city. Russia later proposed a one-day ceasefire for Thursday. The Defense Ministry said the ceasefire would start at 10 o'clock local time and would allow people to travel westwards to Zaporizhia via the Russian-controlled port of Berdyansk. On Thursday morning, Ukrainian Deputy Prime Minister Elena Vereshchuk said a convoy of Ukrainian buses was on its way to Mariupol to try to evacuate civilians. She said the International Committee of the Red Cross had confirmed that Russia had agreed to open a humanitarian corridor to the city. And finally, in sports, the Nigeria Football Federation has tendered an apology to the federal government and Nigerians for the failure of the Super Eagles to qualify for this year's World Cup finals in Qatar. NFF General Secretary Dr. Mohammed Sanusi regretted that the team failed to qualify despite the enormous support of government and Nigerians, who turned out in throngs to fill up the 60,491 capacity Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja for the clash with Ghana Black Stars on Tuesday. The Super Eagles could only achieve a score draw 1-1 against the Black Stars, which ended their hopes of playing at the World Cup finals in Qatar as Ghana sneaked through on the away goal rule. Well, with sports, we've come to the end of a news update. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Zainab Bala. Stay tuned.